Final Fantasy games, for as long as I have been playing them, which is about 20 years, have always been story games. There's never been a lot of player agency in them, and they have never really been choose your own adventure type like CRPGs like Divinity Original Sin and Baldur's Gate 3. And for me, that has never really been a problem because I do enjoy playing through a predefined story, and Final Fantasy games have very interesting, engaging narratives, especially around the romance plot, with Final Fantasy VII being the most talked about because of its ambiguity in the love triangle. And if you have seen my previous videos, you would know that I love Cloud and Aerith, and it's because they just fit the Final Fantasy genre trope very well. But in this video, I am gonna try and withhold my bias and be as objective as possible. I'm gonna look into this love triangle, deep dive into each heroine, their role when it comes to Cloud, their role as it comes to the whole entire Final Fantasy franchise, and why I believe Square Enix needs to wrap it up and choose one or choose nobody and remove this ambiguity. Aerith and Tifa are actually two complementary heroines of Final Fantasy VII. Aerith being the more bold, confident, outgoing, bubbly personality that she is brings a certain lightheartedness to the franchise. Tifa is a bit more quiet and reserved, a brilliant martial artist, and she managed to establish a whole life for herself after leaving Nibelheim at such a young age, which is very impressive and really showcases her independence. When it comes to their role in terms of Final Fantasy VII, Aerith's own lies more with saving the planet and fighting Sephiroth. And Tifa's role lies in helping Cloud resolve his inner conflict with his identity issues. And both of these roles complement each other because we needed the real Cloud in order to defeat Sephiroth, and you also needed Holy in order for the world to be saved.
Well, actually, I was kind of hoping we could talk business.
What kind of business?
You know, business. Boys.
Now that I have established that each heroine is their own personality and character and plot outside the main protagonist, Cloud, to a certain degree, let's talk about their relationship with Cloud, starting with Tifa.
So, you know Tifa, right? It's not really my business, but are you guys close?
Cloud! Are you ignoring me?
Tifa and I... Tifa.
Tifa? What's wrong?
Nothing.
Is Tifa like your girlfriend?
No,
Bet she's someone special.
it's not like that. More like... I don't know how to explain.
I see.
How Cloud and Tifa's childhood relationship is introduced in the game is very confusing. And if you are not aware of Traces of Two Past, which is a canon novel written by Nojima, or have not played the original game, you would think that they had some sort of close relationship or friendship when they were growing up, but that is not the case, and I think it's one of the major plot twists as you get towards the end of the game. But it's sort of surfaced earlier in Rebirth compared to the original game.
Lot of memories. How Mom used to teach me while Dad was downstairs in the kitchen doing his best, which was pretty good. Hangouts with Emilio and the gang, which we kept inviting you to, but you never came.
Never? Really?
Really? But you seemed fine on your own.
that what it looked like? That I enjoyed being alone?
You didn't?
Of course not.
Huh. Guess we still don't know each other that well. Guess we still don't know each other that well. Guess we still don't know each other that well.
Let's stop right here because this is such an important point. Just because they did not know each other that well when they were kids does not mean that they did not have feelings for each other. However, a lot of CT shippers love to over exaggerate their childhood friendship, which I do not understand why. Is it because it helps them to villainize Aerith? Perhaps. But I just had to emphasize on that plot point that Cloud and Tifa are not your bridge to Terabithia, my girl, childhood sweethearts. Stop twisting the narrative.
Never too late to make up for lost time.
Yeah, that's true.
Just want to add more meat to this from the lore that I got from Traces of Tifa, the book. So they were close between the ages of 4 and 6 in the sense that they did play together. But as Tifa made more friends in the neighborhood, Cloud started to pull away, and she did not understand why and assumed that he just liked being a loner. So that's where that assumption comes from. But him not wanting to play with the other kids had more to do with having a superiority complex that was linked to his own insecurities. And Tifa really didn't do much to try to understand him better and figure out why he was isolating himself so much. And the Mount Nibble incident didn't actually help.
You remember how our parents used to tell us that when a person died, their spirit would cross Mount Nebo?
Yeah. We all knew it was a story to scare us out of climbing the mountain. You believed it, though.
I didn't. At least, I had my suspicions. But I buried them. I wanted it to be true so badly. I didn't want to think my mom was just gone. Plus, Emilio and the others said they'd help me find her, so up the mountain we went.
Some help they were. Running off and leaving you out there?
Not that I knew about any of that.
You don't remember?
I hit my head pretty hard when I fell off that cliff. Think it messed with my memory. Everything from around that time's a blur. I only knew what the others told me.
Let's stop right here because this is important. So Tifa forgot her memories after she fell down on Mount Nibble. So she had an inaccurate understanding on why everybody blamed Cloud for the incident. Cloud was already not part of the gang. He was already not popular. And Tifa's dad wanted him to stay away from Tifa. And this further led to his isolation, escalated his isolation from the rest of the kids, as well as the people in the neighborhood. So, in hindsight, what does this do to a person? It makes you want to be seen again. It makes you want to be noticed again. So, it became Cloud's goal to now be this person that can be seen by Tifa. And because Tifa had crushes on soldiers, he decided that he was going to become a soldier, and that led to the promise. And this is why I never really saw Cloud wanting to become soldier for Tifa being rooted in love or romance, but more as a way for him to feel validated. And Tifa was the it girl of the village. All the little boys in the village wanted Tifa. They made advances on Tifa. The remake Ultimania Plus further elaborates on this during their resolution scene, where Cloud gives Tifa a hug and Ultimania describes it as a one-night stand, a feeling similar to a one-night stand. And in Japanese, it's called a one-night mistake. Because I'm feeling a little bit petty, let me read word for word what the Ultimania says. Putting aside any feelings for Tifa, he is pleased at being the cool guy who can save Tifa, the person lying deep inside who he always wanted to be. Maybe the feeling is similar to a one-night stand, a bittersweet memory of youth that Cloud never experienced. A faint, satisfied smile comes across Cloud's face.
Cloud. Cloud, you're hurting me. It's stupid. I know that crying's a waste of time.
That's not true.
Thank you.
But I'm not like them. I'm not going just to look for work. I'm going to be a soldier. The best of the best. Like Sephiroth.
The Great War hero, huh? Isn't it pretty hard to become a soldier?
Yeah. So I won't be back for a long time.
Guess not. Think you'll be in the papers?
I'll try.
Just promise me one thing. When we're older, and you're a famous soldier, if I'm ever trapped or in trouble, promise you'll come and save me.
Huh?
That's what heroes do. They save people. Please? Just once. Come on, promise me.
Fine. I promise.
Here's where I have a problem. Tifa made Cloud make that promise. Cloud did not promise her that he was going to be her hero, but she wanted him to be her hero, somebody who would come and save her. And Cloud is surprised by this because Tifa is the sort of girl that can hold her own. She's got a bit of more independence, and Cloud is like, why would you want me to be a hero when I know that you can take care of yourself? But either way, it is a reflection of Tifa having some sort of romantic feelings for Cloud at this point, because now she is seeing him as somebody who can save her, somebody who can be a hero, like sort of a love interest. And in the book Traces, it does confirm that this is when Tifa developed romantic feelings for Cloud. Does not say that Cloud felt the same way. But holding Cloud to this promise, for me, was just a no-no for the ship, and this is why I do not ship them. Although in the live stream sequence, we get a little bit more clarity that Tifa did not hold him to this promise, but in the game itself, there are elements of her using this promise in order to get him to stick around and join Avalanche. And we saw in the Mount Nibble incident just before she died, or Cloud thought that she died, she was like, you promised me, you promised you'll come and save me. And that was like a little bit off. So I guess that is like the baggage with shared trauma and somebody who is like trauma blocking. So Cloud is not in a state right now to have these discussions, and Tifa wants to have these conversations. So there is tension there. And I think later on in the game in Gongaga, we see it being resolved to a certain degree.
But here we are. Here, look. My scar. That proof enough? After you left, Zangan found me. He's the one who brought me to the clinic. He risked his life carrying me out of the reactor and down the river. Wasn't just him, though. There's the doctor who operated on me all night, and the nurses who looked after me for days on end. I'm here now because they were there for me then. And where were you again? In fact, where have you been this whole time? For 5 years.
You know I can't tell you that.
So right here, she gets upset and makes it all about her. But Guy is going through quite a lot, you know. And I guess for like CTs out there, for them, this was like peak, you know. They're like, ooh, the lovers are fighting. Okay, now let me be more positive about this ship. This Gongaga sequence was actually the first time I saw open communication between Cloud and Tifa about their past, and them reconciling about the whole thing of Cloud being a hero, soldier, and pretty much confirming that Tifa now is moving forward and she is not holding that grudge of him not being there for her over the past 5 years, because he has always been there for her when she was a kid, and now she wants to be there for him. And I think this is where the dev said that Tether becomes his emotional anchor, grounding Cloud from Sephiroth's control. Well, they should have left the Sephiroth control out, but I now do believe that this was a turning point in their relationship, and this is when Tifa starts playing more of a supportive role to Cloud rather than being the person that is like, where were you? Why were you not there for me? Blah, blah, blah. So there's a little bit of mutual understanding now.
That's not going to happen to you. You saved me before. Now it's my turn.
Somehow, the headcanon here is that this is where your relationship with Tifa takes a romantic turn. And we see this manifesting in the Gold Sorcerer date. But it is not that straightforward. You cannot canonize Cloud and Tifa just based on these events alone. Especially due to the optional nature of the Gold Sorcerer date, which was the event that sort of built up from this one. You don't get that dialogue if you did not date Tifa. And that is where a lot of debates come in. Plus, the last couple of chapters of the Rebirth trilogy were very Clarith focused, and when I say very, it is heavy, undeniably Clarith focused. Despite if you did Tifa, you still get these scenes. Let's move on to Cloud and Aerith. And I actually refer to them as the poster couple of the remake trilogy, and that is because the themes of the remake trilogy are around changing fate and destiny, and pretty much that is the central core of Cloud and Aerith's relationship. And shipping aside, Aerith represents the live stream, whereas Sephiroth represents something opposite to that, and which is the end of humanity's existence. And you have the white materia and the black materia, which are also counter opposites. And then you have Cloud, who is pretty much Sephiroth's puppet in quotation marks, but he has this connection to Sephiroth as well. So these three are actually the core of the main theme of saving the planet and the world. And not to mention the marketing. The marketing is all about Cloud and Aerith. The songs are all about Cloud and Aerith. So you tell me otherwise.
And now it had lyrics to it, and I just felt like it was so special because it kind of embodied Cloud and Aerith's relationship from the beginning and just their connection.
And where they have a significant advantage over Cloud and Tifa is that Cloud and Aerith don't start off with any baggage. They start off on a clean slate. This is like a boy meets girl story, and boy and girl fall in love. But boy and girl's love gets cut short because of an unfortunate circumstance. Cloud and Aerith have one of the most memorable meetings, which is when she gives him the reunion flower. And in the original game, Cloud said that he could not forget the girl with the most impressive eyes. And later on, Cloud falls down Aerith's church and he pretends that he did not recognize her, but he did. And we see events turn where now Cloud gets the role of Aerith's bodyguard, and she says that he's gonna get paid in dates, and he's like, what? And to players who are new to Final Fantasy VII Remake, Aerith will seem like a very mysterious person at the beginning. And to Cloud, I think he also was captivated by that mystery and wanted to know her more. And just after this church meetup, you're like jumping off rooftops with Aerith. And this is like a very quiet paced time in the game. Because you get this slow paced, quiet time in the game, you can really sense that the developers are making an effort to show you the chemistry between these two, their dynamic, and just how it evolves. And how Aerith's playful nature really helps open Cloud up. And I really appreciate these moments with Cloud and Aerith because you really get to see how much he cares. He masks a lot with his soldier persona, but we get to see a soft side of him. Just before this, a few chapters ago, he told Barrett to seek help because of the passion he showed for the planet. But he then sees Aerith talking to flowers, and his personality just takes a 360. He actually shows interest.
Otherwise, we won't hear them. Maybe I should just give up. Honestly, it's what I do best.
Could have fooled me. From what I've seen, you're no quitter.
Well, today's special. That's why I've been working my butt off.
What's so special about it?
Okay, time to go.
Learn to talk to her.
Did the flowers say anything?
Good work today, guys?
That's the spirit.
After this, we get a very sweet moment where Cloud thinks about what his mom said about the perfect girl for him. And he has this dream while he spent the day with Aerith, while he was at Aerith's house, and his mom describes an orderly sister-type character, which is the perfect description of Aerith in the original game and also given by the devs. And somebody who's assertive and somebody to lead him. And from what we have seen, she is that type, and that is a perfect description. So Cloud was asked to leave Aerith alone by Elmara and head back to Sector 7. But Aerith didn't listen, Cloud didn't listen either, so they have another date. And this is actually officiated by the devs on their way back to Sector 7. And this is one of the most cutesy dates, and I think the best moment we had in Final Fantasy VII Remake. Let me pause right here because the Ultimania blessed us with what was going on in Cloud's head word for word, and it was spicy. Cloud sits down a bit away, far from Aerith. Aerith smiles and closes the distance between them until their shoulders are almost touching. Cloud is calm on the outside, but his heart is racing. It's also here where we are introduced to Aerith's first love, Zack. And this is very significant, and it has been something that the opposition, has been using against us, Clarets, for a very long time. Well, it's used a lot to invalidate Aerith's feelings for Cloud. But it was here where she really started to realize that Cloud is not Zack, and they're very different. And you see that in her ending dialogue where she says, "Gotta look forward, not back." Fast forward to Rebirth, it is further emphasized that she did see Zack in him initially, but she loves Cloud and she sees Cloud for who he is, and she knows that he is not Zack. And I want to bring up this Reddit post that explains Cloud and Zack significantly very well. It's probably the most intelligent piece of writing that I have seen from this fandom. So I'm going to pause a bit and let's look at it. So, Crisis Core confused this entire fandom, especially if you play Crisis Core first before you play Final Fantasy OG, original game. And yes, Cloud superimposed Zack's actions in his memories, but he is still his own character. Zack is a ladies' man, Cloud is a dork. Zack is cheerful and confident, Cloud is moody, acts edgy to hide insecurities. Zack wants to be a hero for justice, Cloud wants to be a hero to be noticed. Aerith is initially interested in Cloud because he reminds her of Zack, but she quickly realized that they are completely different people and develops an interest in knowing better Cloud for who he is. Zack's journey is one of duty, honor, and sacrifice. Cloud's journey is one of self-discovery, accepting your own limitations and failures, and learning how to open up to others without the need to impress them. So now we can move on.
Gotta look forward, not back.
Aerith made like a huge difference in how Cloud started interacting with the team, and we see this specifically through the high fives and how in Rebirth it was such a natural thing for him to give a high five to Tifa and to everybody else, and it was no longer awkward.
That went pretty well.
Sure did.
Huh? Wait a minute, did you just...
Nope.
Let's go back to Cloud and Tifa. When Tifa expressed how she thought Cloud was a loner and he liked being alone, and then Cloud said, nope, that was not the case. And Tifa did not know how to help Cloud open up as they were kids and even in the present time. But Aerith managed to do that in just a short number of days. We know that Cloud and Aerith's romance gets really cut short before it even really starts. I love this quote from The Fault in Our Stars. I cannot tell you how thankful I am for little infinity. He gave me forever within the numbered days, and for that I am eternally grateful. And this leads to Aerith's resolution scene. For me, that was also a big significant moment where she was pretty much telling Cloud not to fall in love with her, a typical tragic romance trope, and Cloud protested. Like the Ultimania literally said, he protested. And she adds something to say that whatever you're feeling is not real. And she was doing that to guard Cloud. She knows what her death did to him in Advent Children, and she just wants to soften the blow, I guess. And you can see that she's really having mixed feelings and emotions throughout this game when it comes to confessing to Cloud and her love for Cloud. And that leads to the rebirth, dream date, and her confession, and why it is depicted the way it is.
This is it, right? Our spot?
Bingo!
That was easy.
I told you it was obvious.
Well, you'll have to give me a harder one next time.
Oh? Next time?
Yeah, next time.
At least I know now. Where you and I stand, I mean. Thing is, Cloud, I really like you. But then, like can mean a lot of different things, can't it? 'Cause there's liking, and then there's liking.
Seriously, what's going on? You've been weird all day.
I'm sorry.
Some people, it's not blatantly obvious to the type of like that she is referring to because they need to insert Zack and everything Aerith related. But the girl literally took him into a dream date, wanted to spend her last moments with him, and throughout the course of this game, she's been flirting with him. She expressed in her Gold Silver Day that she likes him more than Zack. So seriously, what type of like can she be referring to? And given how the game ends, the events of Rebirth, I know what like this girl means. We all do. Cloud in the dream date was having so much fun. He was like, hey Aerith, I want to take photos, and he was disappointed that they didn't win best photo. Plus, I'm gonna end with the one scene that I thought was very telling about their connection. Cloud was in severe Sephiroth control mode here, more than he was in Gongaga, and he managed to snap out of it because of Aerith. Like, he has this flashback of the night they met. There is nothing more beautiful than this. And when this scene happened in the game, as I was playing this chapter, I was like, oh my gosh, are they actually doing this? They're doing this. They are creating this story around Cloud and Aerith. We saw the similar situation in Gongaga where Cloud pushes her into Mako Pool, but in order for him to get his shit together, Barrett had to slap him, and that is very telling. I feel like they're doing like a show don't tell type of thing here. You get this grand finale at the end of the game, and for me this just shows how in sync they are in terms of emotions. Like, I feel like they were achieving boyfriend and girlfriend status here, and that if she does live in the next game, we are going to get a canon Cloud and Aerith romance. But that's just me maybe being a little bit over my head and a bit too excited. But just look at them. They fit the Final Fantasy couple aesthetic. The magic girl never loses, guys. She never loses. Anyways, let me just give my final thoughts on Cloud and Tifa and Cloud and Aerith. These relationships are really opposites. Cloud and Tifa represent more of the messy, realistic relationship trope that if you do work through your issues and communicate well, it can work. But if you don't do that, then it doesn't work. And we see in Advent Children that Cloud still fails to open up to Tifa. And it's left subject to interpretation whether after the events of Advent Children, he does eventually open up. But in DLC, it does not seem like Tifa got a wedding ring or anything like that. And Tifa just really represents loyalty, somebody that is there on Cloud's side and will be there by his side no matter what, especially given how much she has lost. He is her root to her past, the one thing that she probably treasures most. Aerith and Cloud to me represent that soulmate, genuine, perfect for each other romance, and that was also stated in the original game by Kate Sid. I feel like if Aerith lives, like, her and Cloud were meant to be together and they would be a Clarith wedding. And I see that as an expectation for more Cloud and Aerith fans for a grand finale wedding. But I never see that as an expectation for a lot of Cloud and Tifa fans. So that really speaks volumes as to which girl was actually perfect for Cloud rather than which girl was the fan space favorite for Cloud.